as well. Okay, so I think that's everybody coming in. All right, so we will get started now, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and taking time out of your day as well. So some people it's evening here in Australia. For other people, it is morning in the UK. Let me know if anybody's watching this while they're making dinner, having wine, maybe having breakfast or coffee. Let me know what everybody's doing while they're following this today. So we are going to be talking about gaining confidence and clarity to be able to speak on camera. Now, given that we are all online, for a lot of people being able to develop that skill of being able to transfer what they do and take it online or get in front of a camera to be able to share more about who you are and what you do. And we're still faced with a lot of people who are attending networking events and things like that online, that we're still being asked the same types of questions around who we are and what do we do and all of those different things. So you'll be able to benefit a lot from today around things that you're going to be able to use online, on camera, but as well as being able to interact in all different types of online platforms that you might be in as well. So we will get started, everyone. So before we get started, because there is a lot of people on here who I know, but there's also a lot of people on here who I haven't met before and you don't really know a lot about me. So if it would be okay, I just want to be able to share something really brief around me, and then it is all about every one of you on this call this evening. It is going to be full packed of so much value, and so by the end you're going to have lots of different things that you're going to be able to take forward. So it is about you, but I just want to briefly touch a little bit more about myself, just so that you can get to know me a little bit more. So, and a little bit more about why I do what I do. So basically taking you back to quite a number of years ago. I was always quite a fearless person. I used to be able to just do whatever I really wanted to do. I didn't really have an awful lot of fear. However, public speaking and that type of thing was always a bit of a fear for me. As much as I was fearless with lots of other things, putting myself out there was just really not one of those in terms of public speaking. And when I was around 18, I met someone, I fell in love, and I got married. And leading up to that, I was really, really fearless. And then when I met him, and over the course of around 6 years, I entered into an abusive marriage. And I really lost a lot of a sense of who I was and what I wanted to do in life. I also lost how to basically use my voice to be able to, do whatever I wanted to do. And also in that time, I was going through bullying and harassment in the workplace. So for 6 years, it was 24/7 for me. And I really lost so much of myself, so much confidence, so much of my own voice. And it was in particular one day of my coworker who really reached out a hand, and she asked me if I was okay. And I wasn't okay. And I decided in that moment to actually trust her and tell her that everything wasn't okay. And from that moment on, after a year of her helping me to leave that relationship, I made a promise to myself that I would work for the rest of my days to help other people. And I did nothing for 12 years. Absolutely nothing. I hated the world. I used to blame everybody for everything that had happened to me. And I really didn't do what I promised that I was going to do. And then just over 7 years ago, with my best friend who is on this call, Lindsay, had given me an opportunity to come to Australia from Scotland. And at that particular time, I was in network marketing, and somebody gave me the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And I remember reading the book The Secret, and I thought, really, I have to take responsibility for all of this stuff that happened in my life. I thought, are you kidding me? And I remember just throwing the book back at this person, and she said, read it again with an open mind. And I thought, okay, I don't want to be closed-minded, let's read it again. And then I watched the documentary. And for me, life changed literally before I got on a plane to come to Australia for only a year. And here I am over 7 years later, still in Australia, and I'm now a citizen. So for me, that book was an absolute transformation of my entire life in the 7 years that I have been here. And in that moment as well, that I actually started to overcome my fear of public speaking. And I joined an organization, and for the last 6 years, I've been able to overcome that and be able to get on camera, to speak in stages of over 200 people and really put myself out there. And I share these stories with you all on the call today is because if you're feeling like you don't want to put yourself out there in camera, and now you're faced with having to, you know, I know exactly what you're going through because I've been there. And this is why I love doing what I do, because I've been where everybody has been before about speaking, getting on camera. I know exactly how that feels, but I also know how to help people to be able to overcome that. So that's a little bit about me and how much I'm passionate about being able to help all of you here that have taken time out of your lives to be able to gain clarity and confidence to be able to speak in camera, because I know that the people on this call, each and every single one of you has something amazing that you want to be able to make a difference in the world. So that's enough about me. It is all about every single one of you on this call. And we are going to get started. So let me know in the chat box, everybody, who is ready to gain confidence and clarity to speak on camera. Give me a yes in the comments. And we do have people making dinner and eating and things like that. Definitely. Excellent. Well, you are all in the right place. And we will get started. Now, before we do get started, I want to get a bit of a sense and a feel of where each of you are on the call. So let me know 1, 2, 3, or 4 where you literally are right now. Are you new to getting on camera? Number 2, haven't been on for a while, but you're kind of ready to get back out there again. 3, you're actually now ready to do social media lives. Or 4, you just want to learn a little bit more. Lots of 1s, lots of 2s. Some people are 2s and 3s, 1s and 4s. Excellent. Thank you so much. That gives me a little bit more to know where everybody is at. Excellent. Well, you are all in the right place to be able to get started. Whether you're just getting started or you are looking at being able to start again, you're ready for lives, ready for a little bit of everything, then you are in the right place. So today, what we are going to be sharing, guys, lots and lots of different value. This is not a session where I'm going to literally just give you nothing and then try and sell to you at the end. There are going to be heaps and heaps and heaps of value for you all. So number 1, we are going to talk about mindset and being able to change for future results, given the fact that, you know, you might have been pushed into getting onto camera more than you thought you would have. So I want to be able to give you some tools around that mindset to be able to help you as you then be able to grow your business or your workplace and being able to get on camera. Number 2, I want to teach you how to connect on camera with your audience. Then number 3 is how to find speaking gigs and create video pitches. So for anybody who's on here who used to potentially, like myself, go to networking events or do speaking gigs, but now no longer you can do any of that in person. So you might want to be able to find some of those things online, that I'm going to give you some pointers of how to do that. And also as well, some people on the call might be looking at using video to send a little bit more about yourself. Then I've got that on there as well for everybody. So that is what we are going to do today. And that will probably be around kind of maybe 30, 40, 45 minutes with some time for Q&A as well. We will be using the chat box throughout the session as well. So what I do for people who have worked with me before and some people who haven't met me before, but I think this is really relevant again for all of you who are watching that have done this, because when I've been going around doing workshops and clients, it's all been around in person, but now we're faced with online. So some of these might be a little bit different for you. So what I do is that I take people from feeling uncertain through feeling imposter, and then to have that confidence and clarity around speaking on camera. And I'm not necessarily saying that everybody goes through imposter syndrome, but sometimes some people can feel that by maybe getting on and doing something like this is that your audience might know more than you. However, generally is that you are the person who's experienced in your field, so you generally would know more than the audience. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about getting on camera, getting on lives, getting online. Where do you feel you sit right now? And what I'll do is I'll give you a moment to think about it. You could be in between. So we'll do, number 1 is uncertainty, number 2 is imposter, and number 3 is clarity. And I'm going to get you to pop in the chat for me and let me know where you feel you are sitting right now. And you might be between 1, 2, and 3. But just let me know again so that I can gauge where everybody is at. So we do have quite a lot of 2s going on. So we have a lot of people feeling imposter. And can I suppose just to ask from everybody that is putting down some 2s, is that because you're going online or on camera that you feel more of an imposter? Oh, that's awesome, Regina. On lives, okay. Just interesting to see where people are at is because you're going online. Excellent, thank you for sharing, everyone. So we're going to, yes, it's more vulnerable, Naomi, that's right. Definitely, more visible. Exactly. So what I actually want to touch on first is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'm sure that everybody on here knows about the hierarchy of needs, but what I actually wanted to touch on this is because of so much in our lives have changed when it comes to social, sense of belonging, sense of community, all of those things in person have been stripped away from us all and has affected us all in very different ways. So I want to talk a little bit about this because around getting on lives, getting on camera, is that, you know, we're looking for acceptance and belonging. So social part of it is really important. Now, for a lot of people going through the psychological parts of what's happened, the safety aspect as well, and then moving on to that social. So, you know, it's human nature to feel that we want to be accepted and belong. And I think this is so relevant, and I'm just looking down at notes because I really wanted to share this with everybody, is that having the social acceptance in the red is really something that we seek and we look for before we can move up to having that confidence and self-esteem, and really move up the top to what our needs actually are. So what happens is that we, more than often or not, that we think that we are who we are and our identity of who we are. So a lot of the times is that we don't show that to others. There's certain parts of things that we don't show to people because we might have fear of being rejected by people if we really show that vulnerability part of ourselves and really share exactly who we are. So then we start to tend to hide away from those things. And we start to reject them for ourselves because we don't actually want to share them and show them out loud, especially online. So what we actually then have is a tension between receiving social acceptance and not wanting to be fully seen. So how can we then have that sense of acceptance and belonging if we're not being our true selves? So in order to move up, this is something that I want you to think about when it is getting on camera, and I'm going to be able to teach you a little bit more about that, is that, you know, social acceptance, but also that part of you want to be true to you and who you are and what you do as well. So this is just something to think about there as well. And I can relate to that because it's something that I battled with for a very long time, of that social acceptance. But it takes time, and it takes time to slowly step through that and really be able to just share a little bit more about yourselves, so that you don't necessarily need the acceptance of others in order to progress and really share more about who you are as well. And then this moves on to my next slide, is that to talk about those things that we have around fears. So generally is that when we put ourselves out there to do public speaking or get on camera, it's not actually about the speaking aspect that we fear. It's actually one or two or three or all four of these fears that you will tend to feel, and not so much about the speaking. And the reason that I share this slide is because the more you can understand which one or ones hold you back, instead of it being thinking of it as the speaking aspect. And now for some of you who have recently attended my workshop, is that for you, what is happening for you now about getting on camera? What fear for you or fears are really holding you back, or the resistance from really being your true self? So again, let me know some of the ones for people. I know from one of my recent workshops in Central Queensland, fear of success was also another one that did come up for people. But let me know what's some of the fears that are popping up for people when it really does come to putting yourself on camera. Losing power, embarrassment, failure. I've moved from rejection to failure, embarrassment. Excellent. Wow, there's quite a lot of embarrassment. Does anybody want to share a little bit more on the embarrassment? To what? Is it technical aspect maybe, or let me know if anybody wants to share a little bit more about the embarrassment part of it. Fear of making mistakes, being misunderstood. Definitely. Thanks, Vanessa. We're talking about, face-to-face, very confident. And let me know if anybody else feels that by doing face-to-face, you feel so much more confident, but then it comes to going online that you don't feel as confident. The technical stuff. And I think the more that we can do, like face-to-face can be so in our comfort zone, but then when we start to go online, we suddenly, it's not our comfort zone anymore. It's something really new. And again, it's like anything that we learn, it's always going to be new as well. Yes, out your comfort zone. Yeah, and having questions asked as well. And I think that can be for quite a lot of people. It's something that I see a lot when it comes to Q&A. So what I want to talk about for people that do say, and I think this is for everyone as well, is around when we look at fail, it's the first attempt in learning, right? So start learning today. Because we do need to just keep learning. Is that if something happens, these things happen. We need to be able to practice and be able to move on from it. Like, this is the first time that I've done a live with this amount of people on my Zoom. So, you know, I then think about the technical aspect of, did I set it right? Is everybody going to come on at a certain time? And how am I working that? But then I think if you don't put yourself out there and do these things, you don't learn from it as well. Oh, Paula. Oh, Paul, I'm going to chat to you about that later, after this, about that. So I do want you to think about, if you've got the fear of failure or rejection or any of these things, is just remember it's first attempt in learning. For some of you, it's learning something new. Then we all have to start somewhere. So really just getting on there and getting it done. Guys, I've had an absolute week of firsts of loads of different things. And I tell you, it's not as scary. And if anybody does want to know a little bit more about running these types of things, please reach out to me afterwards. And I'm going to be able to help people to be able to do that. It's not as scary as you might think. So, mindset for change, everyone. So when it comes to the change, especially with the added what's happening in the world as well. So for a lot of people, stress has increased, your inner voice has increased, your self-belief, the values of what's going on in the world. How do I even handle this? So for a lot of you who I have taken through this strategy before, I think it's even more relevant right now, considering all of the stress and things that can be happening for people. So we really want to be able to change that and bring the stress down of, do you know what? Yes, we're faced with going online, but we don't have to force it. We don't have to push at it. There's a way in which you can really transfer all that over without like really forcing it, to getting it all happening right now before you're ready to do it. Then I really want you to be able to follow what I teach you today to really get that where you need to gain that clarity and confidence to actually do it, and do it in a way that is authentic and comfortable to you as well. And I want you to own who you are as a speaker, own who you are as a speaker if you were doing it in person. Own that and be responsible for who you are and the person that you are, and all of the help that you can really give people by using your voice and being able to get on camera and talk about people as well. So I'm going to get you to get as comfortable as you can. Yes, for people drinking wine, you might want to put it down on a table, please. We don't want you to spill it. Keep it and save it for afterwards. So get as comfortable as you can, everyone. And for anybody that might be cooking or whatever, you will get the recording sent to you. So feel free if you do want to continue doing anything that you are currently doing. But if you're able to, then please get as comfortable as you can. And I'm going to get you to close your eyes, and I'm going to get you to take a few deep breaths in and out for me. And then take another deep breath in and relax all the muscles around your face. Let your forehead relax and let all the muscles around your eyes relax. Take another deep breath in and relax your jaw. And visualize an amazing achievement that you are proud of to date, personally or professionally. Take another deep breath in and relax your entire body. Bring yourself back into the present moment and relax some more. Keeping your eyes closed, I want you to visualize someone you deeply love or recall a special moment from the past that fills you with pleasure and joy. Something or someone that makes you feel like smiling. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Let me know in the chat how you're all going, how you're all feeling. Are you feeling relaxed? I hope everybody hasn't fallen asleep on me. For everybody that's for everybody that's maybe in Australia, it's time for bed. Excellent. We're calmer. Excellent. So that is literally something that you can do for 10, 30 seconds before you go to do your first live, get on camera, whatever it is that you're doing around speaking. So what I want you to do is, if you do have a pen or a notepad or your phone, is that I want you to write down what that great achievement or several achievements that you thought of there and then. Because I want you to remember that going and getting on camera and lives and doing all of these things is that it might seem really daunting, or looking at wanting to be more vulnerable, is think of all the things that you've had in your life that you've been able to achieve. Then you've been there and done it, and probably obstacles and challenges and all of those different fears that you might have at that time, you've been able to go through them. So remembering your greatest achievements is really going to help you to push through some of those fears that you might be having right now around doing that. So I want you to be able to write this down. And this could be having a post-it note on your laptop next to your phone. And this is a step that you literally can do each and every single time that you're faced with a little bit out of your comfort zone. So you can just write down on a post-it note, 1, 2, 3. So you remember your greatest achievement. Number 2 is that I want you to think about is that what's your intention by getting on camera, getting on live, doing recorded, doing online programs, whatever it is. What's your intention for doing that? Is it something that you've always wanted to do, but now you might feel that you really need to do it now? Is it because you want to have more confidence, you want to enjoy it more, you want to be more present, you want to help more people? Have a think about it, and it might be different each time you do it. And then what's the outcome for the audience? What's something that's in it for them that you can help them with? Is it to inspire them, educate them, inform them? What is it that you could actually do to help them? So this then starts to help with those fears, because you know why you're doing it for you, but then you also know why you're doing it for your audience, which is really super important. When we flip that fear, it is about our audience. It's not about us. It's about the fact that you can help them with what you have. And then number 3 is your fond memory. And this could be different each and every single time that you do different things, but literally is close your eyes, literally for 10, 30 seconds, up to a minute, how long you've got time for, and literally just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in, remember what your achievement is. Why am I doing this? What's in it for the audience? And what's my fond memory? because it will relax you, it will center you, it will ground you, and it will just make you feel more positive. It will make you feel like you're in it for your audience, and you will just feel really warm and fuzzy as well. So when it comes to getting on camera, when we don't have an audience to be able to feed on, we're still going to have that energy. We're still going to have that smile, that body language, things that people can really connect with us on as well. So that is something that you can do each and every single time. Oops. So then I want to move on to our next one, is around engaging and connecting with your audience. So when we then are online, we don't want to be all about the facts, right? So we want to be, facts tell people things, and that it might be important to what it is that you're doing, absolutely. But just remembering is that when we back it up with stories, that's how people engage and connect. Okay, so I want you to think about is that storytelling is so important, and storytelling right now as well, of going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is that having that connection with people, the sense of belonging, the community, the connection right now, is that being able to connect and share how people are feeling, so that people can know, you know, you're feeling the same way as maybe I was a day before, and we can really start to help each other through what's going on in the world when we share real, truthful, honest, authentic stories of how we're feeling, what we're going through. And it might be your business, your workplace, your family, your life. Like, what are you doing to help you that could be helping other people? And I want you to think about is that, you know, how many stories have you heard in the past week? Now, I know that we haven't been able to see people in person apart from the people that live in your house, is that, you know, we have been able to go online and listen to things like this. So I want you just in the comments, in the chat, to gauge a bit of a guess of how many stories you might have heard in the past week. 10, 20, 30, you know, gauge a bit of an approximate of how many you think that you have heard. I did this the other day and someone said, no stories. You must have lived by yourself then, like myself. Lots, maybe 50. So there's quite a number, hundreds, yeah. So there's quite lots on, especially on social media, definitely. So we do listen anyway, normally, to lots of different stories. So what I want you to think about is, now, out of those amount, how many of them do you remember? Let me know in the chat. Because they're normally considerably less. Yes, so a lot less than before, because they made me laugh. Ones that you can relate to. That's my other question, is that, yes, what makes them stand out for you? And that's the thing of, if you're looking at getting on camera to connect with people, grow your business, your workplace, all of these different things, is that you need to be in that small percentage of people that people remember. Funny, relatable, emotions, connections. That's right. So those are all really important, is that it's a relatable story. And what I want to talk about is about what makes a relatable story, is that relatable stories is that you're speaking to your audience. You're speaking the language of your audience. So it is about knowing who your audience is, so it's easier for you to be able to connect and share that story with them. Relatable stories as well can be around, you know, some people might have challenges, obstacles. Think of the hero's journey, right? So when we talk about stories, being able to do it is the hero's journey. And if you haven't heard that before, you know, jump on and Google it. And around, you know, people's obstacles, challenges that they've had, maybe low points of like, I can't keep doing this, I can't keep going. But then they were able to come out the other side. They'd searched for so long to be able to achieve what they've achieved. And what happens is that when we share stories, and relatable stories, is that what happens with our audience, they start to see themselves in their own story. So they don't necessarily see themselves in your story, but they see themselves in their own story. So that's what's really important about that relatable, because even though listening to my story at the beginning is that you don't necessarily need to have been in the same situation as me, but there could have been parts of that that you can relate to. And there's just a few other people joining. So really thinking about is that relatable stories and ones that you can connect with, is that there's certain aspects that you can see yourself in that you have potentially experienced. That's how we can really be relatable. But it's also about that authenticity as well, and giving yourself permission to be vulnerable, which gives other people permission to do the same as well. So that's just really to think about, is that getting on camera, if it's something that you really want to start sharing as stories, and I'm not saying you need to go right down into the depths of your story, it literally could be chunking it little bits at a time that you want to share, that you are comfortable with. Okay, so you can really start to piece some of that together of what parts of those stories would you like to be able to share with people. So I wanted to share with you as well, if you're looking at getting on lives, getting on videos, whether it's recording, whether it's social media lives, you know, you could literally for the rest of April do 3 videos, right? So number 1 could be that you want to just share a little bit more about why you got started with your business or within the job role that you're in. And it could be a 2 to 3 minute video. But, you know, it doesn't have to be really lengthy. It's just giving people a little bit of a snippet, because then down the line, you could then jump on and do another video, and you're just extending on that why. And then number 2 is that right now as well, I think it's really important to be getting onto social media and potentially doing videos and lives, is that for a lot of people, their businesses have changed. You might be closed, you might be taking it online, you might have reduced hours, and really being able to let people know that you're still there if you can be. If you're not, maybe it's for other people, they've maybe started to do a lot of different online things, drop products off. But if we're not on letting our audience know what we're actually doing and is our business still there, people don't know. And we can't just assume that people know, because for a lot of people, you know, the white noise of social media, some people have really started to take a step back from it. So really being able to communicate with getting on and doing a video, because then it's something that you can save and you could email to people or send in Messenger. So there's such a different way of that you can actually communicate that message with people when you do videos or social media lives. So really letting people know is that what does your business now do because of the certain changes that you might have made. And if your business is as per usual, then let people know that as well. So we should never assume that people know because they've listened to the news or they've listened to the MPs or whatever it is on social media. We should never assume, because Oscar Wilde says that when we assume, we make an ass out of you and me. So it is our jobs as business owners, as of people in a workplace, communicating that message with your people is your responsibility to let them know. Then number 3 is that letting people know how you help them. And right now, again, this might have changed. So let people know how you help them. So say, for instance, that you're a service-based business and you did lots of things in person. Well, how can you help people now do what they do, or help them change certain things in their lives and their business? So letting them know how you can actually help them now. these are 3 great videos that you could be doing little snippets each week, and just letting people know a little bit more about you, what you do and how you help people. And I think this is such prime time to really, if you're one of the ones at the beginning around you haven't done lives or you haven't done it for a while, just getting back on there and being able to just communicate that message with your people, then people really know that you're still there and how you can help them. So those are really some great ones to be able to start to let people know as well. So just to give people as well, so just remember, you can take a picture, but I will send this recording to everybody. This is just a 5 steps. So if you're looking at the first time getting on, you haven't been on in a while, you're not really sure how to engage and connect with people, and some people like a bit of a script, a bit of a structure, so that then you know how to chunk it down to be able to really let people know. So first one is, again, introduce yourself. Because again, we shouldn't assume that people know who we are, because people come on to our journeys at different times, so we should never assume. We should always be able to introduce ourselves by name, potentially what your role is, and letting people know who you are is really, really important, because people want that sense of belonging and connection. If people come on and you're doing a live or a recording and you're like, oh, everybody on here knows me, I feel really silly, you know, telling everybody what my name is and who I am. But what about those people that don't? They're not going to feel that social acceptance and belonging and connection that they're looking for from you. So really important to still introduce yourselves. Then what's really good about, and some people, and I do know people that are on here will, sorry, I'm just checking the chat box. So you want to be able to, and I know for some people that I have seen that's on here, is like letting people know in the little text box as well, if you're doing a social media live, about what you're going to cover. But then when you come on, being able to tell people what are you going to be sharing with them, because if you want to keep people engaged and connected, by telling people from the beginning what you're going to cover, maybe how long you're going to be on, then people know, have they got time? Will they watch it on replay? What will they do? Is it something of value to me? So letting them know what you're going to talk about from the beginning. Then you want to give them the value. So start telling them, share the points, the story, the steps. So it might be like you're jumping on to give them 3 steps or 5 tips or, you know, 7 things, different things. And my internet's telling me my connection is unstable. Oh, thanks. Sorry, guys. So in the introduction, do you just want me to start from the beginning of the slide? Let me know, Jennifer. Step 3. Okay, so step 3 is giving them the value. So it might be that you have 3 steps, 3 tips, 5 different bits of content that you want to share with people, letting them know what the value is. So at the beginning, I shared with you that we're going to talk about mindset, connection, and lives, video pitches, and finding speaking gigs. So then everybody knows that what we're going to be discussing in this session. So really important to be able to let people know what it is that you're going to talk about. Then you want to be able to engage in your audience. And prior to that is that if you're looking at doing something like this, or it's a social media live or recorded, is by using the comments, the chat box, and being able to let people know if they're watching it on replay that you'll watch the notifications, so that everybody has that sense of belonging and that they are being listened to and understood. So again, engage in your audience, to then being able to summarize. So a little bit of a wrap up of, okay, today we shared 3 steps around getting on camera. This is some of the key takeaways that we've had from today's session. So being able to just summarize a little bit as you're finishing off, people then know that you're starting to wrap up, which is really, really important, because you don't want to just get to the end and be like, hey, bye everyone. So you want to be able to have people going through that process. And then step number 5 is that you want to be doing a call to action. Now, this doesn't mean as a sales types of call to action, But you want to be able to, for you, if you do want to get to that stage, it becomes a habit that you're able to at the end go, hey guys, thumbs up if this has been really helpful to everyone. You know, let me know, thumbs up, or let a comment to let me know what was your key takeaway from today. Maybe share this video, you know, book in a call, visit my website, download my freebie, you know, something, or put a funny emoji in the comments or something like that. But when we are able to get used to finishing off with you want something for people to do, then you're giving people instructions. Then people know exactly what's expected of them. It might be of, hey, let me know if there's anything further you would like help with. Oh, I think my internet might not be that great. Sorry, guys. Can everybody hear me now? Excellent, excellent. All right. So there's lots of people saying yes. All right. So we're coming to the end of what we're going to be doing today. Is that I want to talk about 30 to 90-second video pitches. I know from when I was talking around, these are some things that I've been doing for the last couple of years for different things. So if anybody is thinking of, you might be applying for speaking gigs, or you might want to send people a little bit more about what you do, and by doing it in a video sometimes has more impact, then again, I wanted to break it down to everybody because 30 to 90 seconds is not a long time. I had to do a video pitch the week, not last week, week before, in 30 seconds. It is not that much time to really put in what you want. So you need to have a structure because you just won't be able to put everything in. So by doing a 30 to 90, because sometimes some people give you 30, sometimes people give you 90 seconds, is that you want to do an intro. So having your name, your business or your workplace, and that what you help people do. So I specialize in helping people to, what's something that you can do for them, and then a call to action. So the other week I was doing one around, so I said, hi, I'm Melanie Wood, founder, owner of Speaking Styles, and I specialize in helping people to gain more clarity and confidence to be able to get their business online and be able to increase their speaking skills. So right now I'm offering a 1-hour free strategy call to everybody who does get in contact with me. So please get in contact with me, Melanie Wood at Speaking Styles. Right? So that was something that was just super simple, easy for someone to follow, of who I was, what I helped people, what I basically had on offer for people. So by taking these 4 steps, it really then is able to put something together and get to the point. Because a lot of the times that we can kind of waffle, start going into a lot of these different whys and hows and whats and all of these things. So this is something that you can literally use that gets you that 30 to 90 second video pitch that you might need moving forward. Just let me know that everybody can still hear me and see me and all those different things. I think the internet, with everybody now that's on it, I think we're probably all having some issues with them with internet. It might be your own house as well. So to start finishing off, right, for anybody who is looking for speaking gigs online, so a bit like myself, everything was in person. I'm now having to find lots of different speaking gigs online. So if you are looking at maybe, or you were looking at becoming and doing some speaking gigs, then these are just some ways. I'm just going to move my chat box out the way so I can see. Is that now online networking events are popping up everywhere. So maybe ones that you were already attending, check whether or not they're still running. They're starting to run online. Start attending the same things that you were attending. Now the fact that we're online is that we've got people from the UK. You can start attending events all around the world, really. And if maybe some of your networking events that you went to are not happening anymore right now. Start looking for other ones. Build relationships with people just the way you would in person, to then develop the relationships with the organizer, with the host. Maybe just let them know, you know, at some point down the line, you'd love to be able to share some of the things that you can to be able to give value and help the network and the community. Letting people know, but start going online and seeing different events. And now, you know, the world is our oyster to the amount of different events that we can now tap into, that doesn't necessarily have to be in your own community. So different ones that I've been searching for and using, and Friday I spoke at a COVID online live conference on Friday, is that when loads of people now are doing COVID summits, COVID conferences, search online for potentially people doing and setting up these conferences now, and that you could be able to see whether or not they've got an application form to apply for. So I've been applying for summits and online conferences. The one I did on Friday, I applied for. And again, your video pitches is things that I use when I apply for any kind of online summits. And I was doing summits before COVID happened, but obviously I'm upping my game with the amount that I do search for now. So search online for COVID summits and conferences. People on LinkedIn, if you're on LinkedIn as well, a lot of people are putting on there that they're looking for speakers. Have a bit of a look on there and see what people are posting, maybe searching around some summits and conferences. Search on Facebook, other ones as well. There's so many Facebook groups. What you could do is, even the ones that you're in or you're joining, go to the search bar and maybe search for speakers or speakers wanted, and maybe go through and see who has been putting posts up around speakers wanted. And even going in the past, or people were looking for them in person, you could maybe message them and say, hey, I saw like a post that you did a few months ago looking for people in person. Are you still looking for people? Are you taking it online? Ask people that you're friends with or connected with online to tag you when things like that come up. So I've got connections that tag me when they post and say speakers wanted or needed. So ask people to help you and tag you, because we can't monitor all the face groups in the whole planet. It's really unmanageable. I can't myself. So I'm quite fortunate that people will tag me. Ask people to tag you. Ask me to tag you. So, join some groups that you potentially would quite maybe want to be able to speak at. Ask people to tag you, looking at posts for speakers, maybe going through Eventbrite and joining some of those summits, making connections with the hosts, because some of those people might put other ones on, because we're going to be here for a while. People are going to be putting these summits and things like that on for quite a while. And I just wanted to look at my notes, because after I'd done the slide, I'd thought of other things. People are now wanting to interview people for podcasts. That's another really good one to do as well. Zoom interviews people are doing now that links to Facebook. So, there's all of these different things around speaking online. So podcasts is one, interviews, going on LinkedIn, maybe messaging people, subscribe to people's emails. I subscribe to people's emails, and then they might send out applications to do any speaking. And my last and final one on this is, my biggest saying all the time is, don't wait for other people, create your own opportunities. So see if there's nothing around, create an online summit or conference yourself and ask for speakers. And I'll come and speak at your event. So I always say, don't wait for other people to create it for you, create it yourself. And that's another way to be able to have that platform to speak at yourself, by creating it yourself. Because that's something that I'm now thinking about doing myself, is to create a summit. Let me know in the chat if that has been helpful, everyone, for the last two slides that we have had around pitching and speaking gigs. If that has been helpful for you all. Excellent. So we are coming to the end. I want you to let me know in the comments. Aha, you have seen the light. Let me know one key takeaway. One key takeaway from this session. Let me know. People are in for podcasting. That's awesome. What's one key takeaway? Relax before you start. Create my own summit. Who's doing a summit? Sue Ellen, I'll come and speak. Clarity, the script. Fail, first attempt in learning. Excellent. So I'm going to see lots of lives and lots of videos that you're all going to tag me in so that I can see you all. Searching for speaking gigs. That's right, Sue. Me and Sue are going to have a chat later about that as well. Dennis, being authentic, which will give me confidence. That's right. People are all going to create their own summits. I'm so excited. I'm going to be fully booked now. All right, so what I want you to tell me now is that what's one thing that you still need help with moving on? Naomi says, be you, open up to people, invite others, interact, be brave. Yeah, share content. I wondered why it said, I guess, just ankle content. So let me know what's one thing that you still need some help with. Nobody, everybody's all good. You're all like, I'm so doing it. Starting the audience. Know what to say without the waffle when speaking publicly. However, I find that younger people think that older people don't know much how to help them. 30 is the new 80. Love it, Sue. Perhaps how to get an audience. Oh, that's a good one. Confidence, navigating to find the right audience. Because that reason I'm asking this is because then I will know to look at forward planning another type of session like this for everybody. Oh, my internet. Applying my face-to-face bravery online. I think I just need to use tonight's plan to jump in and get started. Let me know. My internet just said the connection got lost before I move on and just talk to myself. Someone just say, yep, you can still hear me. Yes, be brave. So. Just keep going, not give up on online, personal, face-to-face connection. Exactly. Definitely. Cool. All right. I just want to let you know as we finish off that I am here to help everyone in any way that I can. And I just want to let you know a few ways that we can be able to, I can help you a little bit further, is that I am offering just now, while this is all going on, a free 30-minute call with myself. If anybody needs a little bit further help with everything, I also have a freebie on my website that was for in person, but I think it's still really relevant for online as well. If you do need some more tips around speaking to success, it's a free download and it comes with 3 follow-up videos of me talking you through it. And if anybody is interested, I am actually going to start a group coaching for the next 6 months, which will be all about getting on camera and supporting you through the next 6 months of basically taking yourself online and doing it as a group session. So I will email everybody just with some more details around that. If it is something that you're looking at doing, the group coaching will be super affordable. It's going to be really minimal because I really want to be able to help people be able to take this forward. Whether it's building something like this, it literally will do for all areas of helping you as well. I am going to be up and running it. Excellent, Naomi. I'm putting that together because I do want to help people, because I know getting online and doing all of this stuff, and we are going to be here for the foreseeable, for the next quite a number of months. For you guys in the UK, the group coaching will be around this time. So it would be Oz at night and UK in the morning as well. Excellent, no problem. I will get the chat afterwards. So yeah, I will send everybody the details around the group coaching if you do want to come on board, and then we're going to be able to work through that together. My website is at the bottom there, and there's just some more of my details there for anybody who is not connected with me, who wants to connect with me a little bit more. Hello. Let's see, but I'm going to take a picture before everybody goes. I know it's just a grid of names, but still, I'm still going to be able to take that anyway before everybody heads off. Thank you so much, everyone. And really, my final thoughts is just do it. Just go and do it. You are enough as you are, and go out there and empower, inspire, change in your audience. I am here for you. I'm here for everybody on this call. Please reach out to me, and I would love to be able to help you in any way that I can. Definitely. I'm going to put in my links. I'm just going to put in some links in here for everybody, if that even happens. Let's see. I don't think that worked the way I wanted to do, but anyway, there's just some links for anybody, but thank you so much. Oh, how calm I am on camera. I have to say I love it. I have to say I do love it. And I'd say to people, fall in love with the camera. Definitely, and you know, and have that passion of who you are and what you do to help people. So have an amazing evening, everybody in Australia. Have an amazing day, everybody in the UK. Thank you so much again for coming on, everybody. It's been super amazing, and it's been such my pleasure to be able to work with you all and help you gain clarity and confidence to get on camera. So